Hey guys, today I'm in upstate New York at one of the oldest military installations in the nation, Old Fort Niagara. So come along with me, let me show you around. As I made my way toward the fort entrance, I didn't expect it to be guarded by a fox, but rather armed soldiers. Fort Niagara has a unique collection of original military architecture and fortification, as well as living history events and exhibits. The soldiers wear different colored uniforms, which represent the various countries that occupied the fort at one time or another. Red is for the British, blue for America, and gray was the French.
What the fur is used for is to make, for the most part, the beaver pelts are used to make felt hats. The other trade is in deer skins. The deer skins are mainly used for the leather. We use this as a living history space we call it junk on the bunk. When we have special programs, we lay out the soldiers' kit and we talk about what they had and what their material culture was like. So this would be where the guards stayed when they were on duty, so they could get right out in the event of an alarm.
Since 1726, Fort Niagara has dominated the entrance to the Niagara River, not far from the famed Niagara Falls, which attracts millions of visitors each year. Sadly, only a fraction of them make their way to this wonderful historical site. This is a look at the officers' dining hall and the general's quarters.
To go with their bread, they received 2 ration items every day, and one was dried peas, usually yellow for the French and green for the English or British and American. Occasionally they might get dried beans, and each man in the mess would put his peas into a kettle with water and add his portion of salt pork, which is pork that was butchered in Europe, cut up into chunks, rubbed in salt, and shipped over in huge barrels of salt water. It would be about a year old by the time it got here, if not older, but if it stays in the salt water, completely immersed, it will be good for about 2 years. Unfortunately, there were a few merchants that drained the salt water to make the casks lightweight, and then would fill them up with lake water in order to fool the quartermaster. And then consequently, when the barrels were opened, the meat was spoiled.
You could easily spend the entire day exploring all of the nooks and crannies and vantage points of this 23-acre park. Of course, a blacksmith would have been essential back in the day for an array of weapons and tools. If you're planning a trip to Niagara Falls, be sure to include a visit to Fort Niagara. Well, that's it from Fort Niagara State Park. Till next time. We'll see you on the road.